We begin tonight with an ABC 57 News exclusive investigation. The River, a new witness. 16-year-old Eric McGinnis was found dead in the St. Joseph River nearly 33 years ago, and his death was long considered an accidental drowning. ABC 57 News got the case reopened, and in 2022, the Michigan Attorney General's office issued this report determining it was actually a homicide, and the main suspect died years ago. But what if there was another suspect who could still be charged? And what if another new witness came forward, one who actually saw what really happened that night?
Our spot was always in that front corner at the end of this alley. Nobody knew we were up there.
Just 15 years old back in May of 1991, this man, who we'll call John Doe to protect his identity, was hanging out on top of this building right across the street from what was then a teen dance spot called The Club in the basement at 505 Pleasant Street in downtown St. Joseph, Michigan.
So you're up there and you're looking this way, and what do you see? Where was...
This is where the action would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone would get dropped. Both sides of this would have been packed cars. You know, young kids to late teens getting dropped off, going to the dance.
One of them was 16-year-old Eric McGinnis, a junior at Benton Harbor High School, who was a very good dancer, according to John, and he clearly recognized Eric that night.
I knew who he was. I liked him. That was about it.
John says he saw Eric come upstairs out of the club, talk to some girls at a nearby corner, then minutes later take off running towards Silver Beach when some angry white teens came storming out of the club and jumped into their cars, all while he was looking down from that rooftop without anyone knowing.
But when they stopped here,
okay,
they were saying they were going to kick the out of somebody. Let's find this that I did hear from up there.
John says he saw 19-year-old Curtis Pitts and another white teenager who ABC 57 is not identifying for both legal and ethical reasons. John says they were driving two different vehicles, circling downtown streets to try and find Eric McGinnis. The reason? Eric had apparently been dating a white St. Joe girl, and her new boyfriend, Curtis Pitts, was apparently not happy about it.
I wish I could have unseen what I saw.
John says he scrambled down the fire escape to find out what was really going on, ran over to the bluff nearby, and down the steep incline there.
And I'm now seeing parked when I'm right about down here in the middle of the hill slant.
Okay.
I mean, right there's where I'm talking about.
So you had a perfect view?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was elevated to see everything taking place right there. It was like a junkyard resemblance almost. I just remember a bunch of construction stuff and dirt and the rock. Yeah, I mean right there, bird's eye view.
Describe the club. What was it like?
Fun. It was awesome. Personally, I never witnessed any racial tension on site because it was fun in there. It was a melting pot. That's the best way I could say it. Ultimately, seeing black and white people absolutely having a great time, laughing at each other, there was never a presence of like fear.
But that night, downstairs, inside the club, another witness tells ABC 57 there was tension when he saw Eric McGinnis and Curtis Pitts' new girlfriend argue and someone get slapped. Describe Curtis Pitts. What was he like?
Like a big brother teddy bear, like a badass, because he was, you know, a karate champion and a big, confident person.
Was Eric McGinnis murdered because he was a black kid dating a white girl in St. Joe?
For sure. For sure. 100%. Yes, he had problems with black people. It was absolutely probably highly racial motivated.
Black kid was running, and when I first saw him, he had one white guy chasing him. Then, you know, I motioned to my friend to look.
In 2021, another witness, Michael Batson, told ABC 57 News what he and a buddy saw at Silver Beach in St. Joe that same night 3 decades ago, a story his friend confirmed.
They were probably 9/10 of the way down the beach, and that's when Eric cut through the sand when he got near the pier.
Who is pursuer number 1?
Curtis Pitts.
Michael also confirms pursuer number 2 is the same white teenager John says he saw chasing and then beating Eric McGinnis a few minutes after Michael lost sight of them. Then Michael says that same group came back to Silver Beach later in a car with a key piece of evidence and the second pursuer soaking wet.
The car then parked, and pursuer number 2 got out, and he had the black youth coat.
That coat was a distinctive green task force jacket with a fur collar. Eric's family confirms he was often seen wearing.
He ended up asking me 3 or 4 times to buy the coat, and I kept saying no. Then finally he took the coat and wrapped it around his fists and forearms and slammed me into my car very violently. And right away I went and unlocked my car and popped my hatch and then put the coat in the trunk. Then when I looked back at Curtis, he told me, "We can take care of you." And then his fingers started poking me in the chest. "Right now, just like we took care of that f***er."
When I saw the dust of Curtis's truck coming over the little construction entrance thing, and none of it even registered then. It did not register what I was getting ready to see. I could tell clearly it was those 2 cars meeting up again.
John says Curtis and pursuer number 2 cornered Eric McGinnis along the broken concrete and rocks near the CSX rail bridge before these upscale condos and marinas were built on the edge of the St. Joseph River, right across from the U.S. Coast Guard station, where Eric's bloated body was found 5 days later. Eric's home in Benton Harbor and safety right across that very cold river.
So you saw Eric McGinnis on the rocks at the river's edge.
I saw these guys play cat and mouse with him until he thought he had a way out. And that's when the really got deep for him. Bad, quick. They wouldn't let that poor kid move on those rocks. He herded him right to Curtis. I mean, it was like watching hunting dogs.
But they were hunting Eric McGinnis.
That evening, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, they were. He didn't have anywhere to go. It was absolutely disgusting to see these guys throwing what I would say were good pebble rock sizes like that. Softball size and baseball size rocks.
John, who has a long history of theft, fraud, and drug use, says Curtis Pitts and the second white teen both threatened to kill him if he ever spoke out about what he saw. But Curtis took his own life inside this house in February of 2003, 12 years after Eric's death. And John says he is now willing to testify under oath the second pursuer, who's still alive and living in Southwest Michigan, played an active role in Eric's murder.
Absolutely took his swings, and absolutely I do recall seeing him kick at him, yeah. Stomp at him.
How did Eric wind up in the water?
I think I can only say falling off, sliding into the river. I can't recall if he was trying to hold, and that's been a bother on me for a while. Sorry. There's a bar, I just remember rebar sticking out of a piece of that concrete, moving. And I can't say if he was, open mind, conscious mind that he was trying to do that, or if it was just reaction falling and slipping down from the beating that they just gave him, kicked him, punched, and I saw him beaten up and sliding down the side of that thing, trying to hold on, and couldn't.
ABC 57 can now confirm John has told his story to the Michigan Attorney General's Special Investigation Unit. The AG's office telling ABC 57 News, quote, "We have spoken to this witness and are discussing next steps. Our review of this case remains ongoing and a determination whether to reopen the investigation has not yet been reached," unquote. But Eric's family is still waiting for justice, never buying the original story told by investigators 3 decades ago involving Eric breaking into a car and being chased.
Eric was running. He decided to jump in the water to swim away from these guys that were chasing him. No, that's not what happened.
You want the Attorney General to reopen this case?
In very simple terms, I would ask the Attorney General's office to reopen the case, please.
Benny Bowers Jr. is Eric's uncle and a retired Michigan State trooper. His family and the entire community in Benton Harbor have been waiting for justice all these years. Benton Harbor Mayor Marcus Muhammad was in Eric's class at Benton Harbor High School and knew him since the 5th grade. In 2022, Mayor Muhammad hung balloons in Eric's honor on the South Pier in St. Joe, near that deadly crime scene.
Never sat well with me that it was ruled an accidental drowning. And that stain and that hurt and pain has always remained. And that's what I want to do as the mayor of the city, to call for justice. No witch hunt, justice.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about the Eric McGinnis murder, just go to our website, abc57.com, and click on The River. We've got all our past stories and key documents from the case posted there for you.